So the first topic of today's discussion and class is procedure for effecting mergers and acquisition. If you see merger and acquisition, it has some procedure, right? In what way we need to do merger and acquisition, how it has to be done. That all procedure we are going to see in today's class. The merger and acquisition, first of all, to understand the procedure, we need to understand the process of merger and acquisition. Merger and acquisition, it has the process like, first of all, developing a strategic plan for the business. We call it as business plan. To make a proper merger and acquisition, there has to be a proper business plan. If there is no proper business plan, there will be no proper merger and acquisition also. There should be a proper strategic plan or a business plan. Then developing an acquisition plan related to the strategic plan. So now after making a business plan, there should be an acquisition plan, or there should be a plan related to how do we make the business plan successful. That kind of plan has to be prepared, and that is called as acquisition plan. Then search companies for acquisition. The companies who are ready to get acquired or who are ready to make the acquisition, we need to search those all different type of companies. Then search and prioritize potential companies. After searching the companies, who are the potential companies, right? Which are the potential companies, which are the profitable one if you go for a merger or acquisition. So such kind of the companies need to be searched, and we need to give the priorities for those potential companies. Then initiate contact with the target. Once you search and make the priorities, the next is for those particular companies, you have to select any of the target company, right? We need to initiate a contact with the company which you want to make a merger, right? That is called as initiate a contact, either calling them or making a better contact with their management. So that has to be done, initiating a good contact with the target. Then refine valuation, structure the deal, and develop a financial plan. Right? Once you have a better contact, the next step is that we need to make the valuation, structure the deal, development of financial plans. Those all things will come under a particular thing called as negotiation. Right? We need to do negotiation of the different aspects. Right? Then develop a plan for integrating the acquired business. Right? We need to develop a plan to have a proper integration between both the companies. Right? Once the business is acquired, there will be not just one company. There are two companies working in for a proper one target or objectives. So there has to be a proper integration plan. Then obtaining all necessary approvals and implement closing. Right? Approvals from all the government bodies, approvals from all the agencies, approvals from both the management side has to be taken. That is also an important process of a merger. Then implement post-closing integration. Finally, after getting the approval from the different bodies and management, there has to be a post-closing integration. Closing some integration has to be done in a formal way. They have to close the integration and conduct a post-closing evaluation. Finally, the post-closing evaluation, once everything is settled, both the parties have paid their consideration, their money, shares, right? And both the companies are being integrated or merged, acquired. And finally, closing evaluation has to be done by the companies. So this is a thorough process. If you see in brief, it is like screening and identifying potential candidates. That is the first process. Then after that, meet with the potential candidates. Right? We need to meet with the potential candidates in the sense the different companies. Contact due diligence. We need to do a different kind of due diligence for making a merger successful. Negotiate terms and agree to merger. So we need to negotiate on some terms, and we need to agree on certain things which our fellow company are going to tell us. And then announce the merger. If everything is settled, we need to announce about the merger publicly and plan for the integration. merger and acquisition regulatory framework. When they go for a merger and acquisition, there will be a regulatory framework. Like, first of all, there will be a transaction structure. The transaction structure is made by the different things like Companies Act, Income Tax Act, Stamp Act, Competition Act. So whatever things are contained in different acts and different things which are related to the company, those all things will come under a proper regulatory framework for merger and acquisition. Similarly, after having this framework according to the law, legal framework, then you need to go for listed companies, right? Either SEBI regulations or stock exchange listing agreement, right? Those things are also coming under the regulatory framework of merger and acquisition. Because if you are going for merger and acquisition and not following the SEBI guidelines or rules or stock exchange listing agreement, if you are not following it, the merger and acquisition won't be successful. So it is a regulatory framework that you have to follow each and every SEBI guidelines as well as stock exchange listing agreements. Then border transactions. If there is any border transactions you're doing, like export related transactions are there, imports you are doing, then in that case, apart from these all regulatory activities, you need to also have a full regulatory framework of Foreign Exchange Management Act, right, which is totally related with the management of your foreign affairs. Those all regulation also need to be followed when you go for a merger and acquisition. Then the legal procedure. What is the legal procedure? As per section 391 to 394 of Indian Companies Act, covers merger and acquisition examination of object clause. Right? You have to follow these all sections. Whatever are said in the section 391 to 394 of Indian Companies Act. So it says about the examination of object clause. Why we are going to merge? Those all content are there in the object clause. So those all things has to be mentioned, and the copy of that has to be given for the register of the company. Approval from the board. The board has to give the approval. The board of directors, the members of both the company should give the approval. If some of the members, they are not agreeing towards going for a merger or acquisition, then the deal will not be successful. The approval has to be given by majority of the members. Then intimation to the shareholders and creditors. Once you are thinking to go for a merger and acquisition, you need to intimate that to your shareholders, because shareholders are the people who are the real investors in your company, as well as the creditors who have given credit amount to you. To those people, you have to intimate that we are going for a merger and acquisition. Then approval from shareholders and creditors, like 75% of the shareholders and creditors to approve. Like out of 100%, there has to be an approval of minimum 75%. If the approval what you have got is less than 75%, like some approval has been given by shareholders and creditors, it is some 60%. 40% of the shareholders and creditors, they are telling that the merger and acquisition is not a good deal. They are not approving it. In that case, merger and acquisition won't happen legally, because it is bound duty for a company to get an approval from shareholders and the creditors to minimum 75%. Then application to National Company Law Tribunal, right? They have to write an application for National Company Law Tribunal. It is a kind of a council for managing the various company law of different related problems of the company. There also they need to write an application. Intimation to ACs, right? So they have to intimate for the different kind of sectors or different kind of the people involved. So you have to intimate for all your stakeholders. You have to intimate for all the people who are involved in that. Then petition to NCLT for approval. Finally, you have to file a petition for getting an approval, right? In National Companies Limited, there you have to file a petition that you are going to, if you file a petition, then only you can get an approval. Then filing order with ROC, right? You have to file an order with your whatever documents are there, right? Registration of certificate is there with you. With that registration of certificate, ROC, we can file an order with them. Then transfer of assets and liabilities will happen. The company's all assets and liabilities will get transferred with each other, and those all assets of both the companies will become assets of a single company. Liabilities of both the companies separate will become a liability of just one company. So there will be a transfer of assets and liabilities.